y'all. It is Crafty Hope here, and I am working in that little junk journal that I made not too long ago. And it's just a little page here. I think that's actually the back of some scrapbook paper, is all I'm working on. And it's fairly thin, so I knew I wanted to collage on top of it. And the page itself, you see, is just white and boring and not interesting. So I am working with that pile of scraps that I cleaned off my desk in the last video. And I'm starting with this piece of handwritten letter that's got looks like I have smudged on some instant coffee on it and picked up some ink, and I don't even know what else is on it, but it was just yummy and too good to not use. So I tore it and put some down and tore it again and put some more down. And I'm just going to use this entire bit of letter as my background. And it's really kind of gorgeous. And it is going to kind of lead me to where I'm going because I don't know exactly what I want to do on this page, like most of my art journaling. I just kind of go with the flow. So I go ahead and I get this down, and then I decided I wanted to do something in those white spaces that are on there. So I grabbed some Payne's Gray. This is the Master's Touch brand, the Hobby Lobby brand, and I wet my paintbrush down pretty thoroughly. Got it, a little watered down so that I could get that Payne's Gray to almost be a little transparent. And then I'm just making these big dashes, and I'm sticking to just the areas for the most part where the white is to begin with, just to give them some interest, because the area where that coffee, that instant coffee was, I found already interesting. So from there, something in me really wanted some pink on the page. I don't know why. I wanted hot pink, and so I started sorting through my colored pencils to see if I had some hot pink. And I looked at my Prismacolors, and no. So I grabbed my Crayola and I found a magenta that was bright enough. It's still not quite exactly the hot pink I want. I may have to go out and buy me a hot pink colored pencil. But I took that magenta and just scribbled straight on that page. I wanted some color because all I've got there is neutrals for the most part, depending on how you look at Payne's Gray. Um, but once I got those scribbles down, that pink still just wasn't popping for me. So I grab a couple different little things. I I've got all my stuff organized by color, so I started going through my pink can and ended up deciding on this Tombow. I am not sure what that color is. If you need to know, um, I guess ask me, but I'll try to remember to maybe put what it is in the description box below. If I don't, ask me. um, but since Tombows are water reactive, I did take that paintbrush and wet it just a little in a couple spots so that that pink would bleed a little bit, just to add a little yumminess to it. And from there, I decided I needed like a pale green. I don't know. I really don't. So I got my Distress Oxide in Cracked Pistachio and one of my hand carved stamps, and I am just gonna stamp down onto this page real quick. This is a stamp that's got like kind of like three petals, almost kind of lotus like. And I just kind of put that on there, and then I've got my wet paintbrush again, and I am going to fill that in like I did in my last video with the Distress Oxide. Just kind of playing with that technique because I haven't done that before, um, and I'm enjoying it. So it's kind of like watercoloring without really watercoloring. It's like faking it. All right, so I've got all of that down, and the next thing I decided I needed was some gold. So here's my Liquitex acrylic ink in gold, and well, I put these two big uh, dollops straight on my page, and as soon as they went on the page, I was like, nope, don't like that. So I put some more gold over on the side and wet it down, and I'm using a fan brush to splatter it and thinking that, well, that those big dollops might be okay in the end. Yeah, no. So I'm gonna take just some stuff that's on my page. I mean on my desk and just finally get that mostly picked up. What remains there kind of just blends into the background a little and it works. You might see it in the pictures underneath the sentiment and it's okay. So once that is all dry and everything's looking pretty, I decided I wanted to add some fabric and I wanted it to hang off the page. I think I'm gonna play with this a while, like way too long, because I just couldn't decide exactly what I wanted this to do, but I knew I had to have some fabric on this page. So I'm tearing this down and tearing it down, and for some reason I felt like I needed to fold it. So I folded it over here, and then I go and I grab my wonky bits that I made as part of the Willa.Wanders course from Wendy Sylvanik. And I'll try to put a link to that if I remember down below as well. But you can find Wendy as Willa.Wanders on Instagram. All right, so see me futzing with that little slip of fabric and that wonky bit and couldn't decide quite what I wanted to do. So I decided what I need to do was alter that fabric. So I've got some dried up or mostly dried up instant coffee there that I'm going to splatter and get it kind of gunky so that it's not so pristine. And actually it's a I don't know. I think it's probably coffee or tea dyed anyway, but I needed it more. So once I got that on there, I'm going to dry it super quick if I can hold it down. And once that's dry, I'm going to come back in and I've decided I'm going to put it hanging off the side of the page over there with a wonky bit. But I think I found my problem was that actual wonky bit. Um, and for the I also decided I needed some rust on this page. So I grabbed a little container I have of some rusty safety pins so they're not so safe anymore. And I'm going to pin that down onto my piece of fabric if I can. With all the rust and gunk on there, it was hard to get into um, that coffee stained fabric because the coffee itself made the fabric a little chunky too. But I got it on there. I'm working it. Um, and y'all, all of a sudden I was like, well, I'm going to try this other little wonky bit, botanical. And as soon as I put it down, I was like, yep, that's the one I need. So I grabbed my Tim Holtz stickers there and find the phrase collect beautiful moments. And the white of it went really well with the white of my wonky bit. So I decide that's what I'm going to use. And here I'm futzing some more. I just, I knew that's where I wanted it. So I decided, let's just go ahead and stick it down. I'm going to real quick grab my matte gel medium and a paintbrush. And I say real quick, yo, this is sped up and I'm moving like molasses here. I don't know what's going on. So I put down some of my matte gel medium there, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put some of it as well onto the back of my sticker, just because I know I'm going to put that sticker on that fabric and it needs a little extra oomph to stick down. And once that is down, I'll grab my Oohoo glue stick because that's all I really need for that wonky bit because the fabric I've got it on is fairly thin. So I'm going to stick that down. And then from there, I'm pretty much done, except I decide that where I put that wonky bit divided some of my marks there that I done with the Payne's Gray. So I'm going to grab my paintbrush and add a couple more marks. And then that's going to be it for this page, y'all. It was really pretty quick. I absolutely went intuitive. I was like, what do I want next? And I just went for it. And it worked. And I really love this little page. Working small for me sometimes is the easiest because there's not so much pressure to fill up a whole page. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and keep on crafting on. Thanks for watching. Bye.